National PSI Exam Prep, page 69, 19/30, but that is probably not an available exam answer and would be difficult to use on a calculator. Instead, complete the division indicated by the bar or slash mark. 19 divided by 30 equals 0.6333. Depending on the calculator, this could look like 0.63333333 to the end of the display. This would occur on a floating decimal calculator. It could also look like 0.63 if the calculator is set to display only 2 decimal places. The calculator available for the exam will most likely have the floating decimal display. 2. If you are solving a multiple step problem that will use the first result in another step, leave the first calculated result on the display. Don't touch CLR or C. If you instead write down the 0.63 display, clear the calculator, then key in just 0.63, you will only be using part of the actual calculated decimal fraction. Most of the time, you will not detect any difference in the final calculated result compared to the test answer choices. But if you are involved in a $1 million property sale, it could lead to a significant error for things like loan payments or tax prorations. These errors are called rounding errors because when you cut off the extra digits from the first calculation, you are rounding the number. 3. If you are using a floating decimal calculator, you can round a displayed result to match the exam answer choices, usually no more than 4 places to the right of the decimal point. For rounding, look 1 digit beyond the number of places in the exam answer. In the example above, the 5th digit beyond the decimal, and if the next digit is 5 or greater, increase the last digit in the rounded answer by 1. If the next digit is 4 or less, just cut off the digits beyond the 4th digit without adjusting the last digit. A. For example, if you are dividing $34 into 13 parts, you will get 34 divided by 13 equals 2.61538462. If the answer is to be in dollars and cents, you need to round to just 2 decimal places. Because the 3rd digit is 5, you will round to $2.62 to match the correct exam choice. 4. If you are using a calculator that allows you to set the number of decimal places displayed, be sure it is to display at least as many decimal places as the answers require. In the calculation above, if you had the display set to 0 decimals, you would see a display of 3, which would likely be confusing, especially if an incorrect answer choice was $3. To test your understanding of rounding errors. C. Percentages. 1. Percentages are another way to use decimals. Normal decimals represent parts of the whole number 1, or 1.0000000. In the first example, half equals 0.5. or 0.50, which is the same thing. Percentages relate the same part to the whole number 100. If the decimal fraction is 0.50, multiply that decimal by 100 and add a percent sign to get the percentage. 0.50 multiplied by 100 equals 50%. You can also change a decimal into a percentage by multiplying by 100. To convert a percentage to a decimal, divide by 100. 50% divided by 100 equals 0.50 as a pure decimal fraction. Note that you can make either conversion by simply moving the decimal point 2 places to convert a percent to a decimal. Move the decimal point 2 places to the left. 50% equals 0.50. To convert a decimal to a percent, move the decimal point 2 places to the right. 0.25 equals 25%.